this quarter of Sunday afternoon football.
For Robot Building Supplies, the toughest products at the lowest prices.
27-point lead to the Bombers as we welcome you back to Etihad Stadium. 9-4-58 the Dons. The Power 4-7-31. Both sides on the arena as we await the opening bounce in this second half for Tyre Power, your top of the ladder tyre team. As Danny Frawley rejoins us, so too Kevin Bartlett. Bit of work for the Power to do, inspired stuff from the Bombers.
Danny can't get over, Tristan, the fact that Hooker's playing back and Stringer's playing forward.
Well, it's hard to believe that someone so adept at playing down back might actually play.
Danny's been an All-Australian. He's been an All-Australian selector, you see, when Hooker's been selected down back and Stringer's been selected up forward. So he just can't work out why the Bombers have taken so long to actually play these two guys in their All-Australian positions.
As we take a look at the bench for European Kitchen Group, crafting dreams into reality. Tom Rockcliffe again making his way off the ground for Port Adelaide. He's had a poor time of it.
He's not right.
And I'll tell you who's
a good player, Tommy Rockcliffe. He's a real star.
Adam Sard looks to have his left high heavily strapped. That injury update for Arnold Thomason-Becker, over 50 years experience in personal injury law, and he is trudging along fairly gingerly.
Well, Ken Hickley needs to get his forward line up and running. That's been the issue. They've got enough opportunities. They've had one more inside 50, so he really needs a lift from his forward half. There's no doubting that.
Well, the Bombers lead by 27 points. They led by 18 points at quarter time. They kicked 5-2, 32-2-2, and then 9-4 to 4-7. So the Bombers may be looking at an upset. Port Adelaide undefeated so far, the only undefeated team in the competition in the first three games. They have really struggled today.
Travis Boak, you'd think you put your skipper in the midfield, but it looks like he's standing next to Michael Hurley. I wonder, is Boak trying to do a defensive job on Hurley to try and actually get the ball through? But gee, I'd be putting my skipper where the action is. I reckon they're probably nearly to hand the baton over now as the captaincy back over to Ollie Wines.
I think the highlight for the Bombers has been the leadership today of Dyson Heppel. I think Heppel's been fantastic. There's been a lot of criticism of the Bombers in the midfield and also the experienced players, but he has stood up in that first half. This quarter for Robot Building Supplies, the toughest products at the lowest prices. And we're underway in this third term. They lead by 27 points, the Bombers, taken away by Robbie Gray. Run down that time by McDonald, Tipperwoody. Fantastic desperation, great urgency in his game. And McDonald, Tipperwoody just spears that ball out wide, and he finds Heppel, the man of the moment. Looks like the wild man from Borneo, but he's playing great football. Kicks it deep inside 50, and Danaher goes up on the stretch and takes an absolute killer-diller.
Well, everyone get round to McDonald, Tipperwoody. Port were going to win the first clearance, drive it forward. He is just went whack. Beautiful tackle. They get the ball. Now Danaher's shooting for goal.
Looks like he's going to kick this one around the body.
Looks like he is.
From there.
It looks like it.
I don't like it.
He fancies his chances, kicks it around the body, and he misses by a big margin. Now Kearns.
Yeah, come on.
What's your thoughts on that? He's, 35 metres out. He's got no great angle to speak of, and he goes for a check side kick. What's your thoughts?
No, I don't like it. It's terrible. Just goes to show that he's low on confidence in his set shot routine. He kicks them from 55, but when he gets that 25, 30 metre range, he doesn't feel confident in his drop punt.
Adam Cooney, our man on the boundary for Spitwater High Pressure Cleaners. Tools, not toys. As Bonner went long, it was spoiled out for a throw-in. Left half forward for Essendon.
Danaher looks like an old-style movie star, doesn't he? Like Errol Flynn.
He does.
With that moustache.
Good-looking rooster. Good-looking rooster, but geez, he's like a golfer that hasn't got a putter in his bag at the moment.
A little bit like that. Left half forward for Essendon, attacking the Fletcher end, the northern end in this third quarter. Heppel fell over. Pollock got his hands free, sent it back the way of Wingard. Hot in his hammer, McDonald, Tipperwoody. Smith pushed Robbie Gray in the back. The umpire called play on as Burne-Jones went looking for the boundary line. He was harassed out of it by Zach Merritt. Tumbling ball inside 50, Stringer. Punched away from Fantasia. Stringer bursts through. Nice power, good strength. Another fend off. He took a little bit too long. Eventually got his handball away. Zaharakis out the back now, Bagley. Port Adelaide forced to chase as a sweeping handball found Hartley. He kicks laterally, finds Hurley, who can build for the Bombers.
Inside the centre square, he indicates he wants someone to lead up at him, and Danaher has got the signal. He charges out. Thought he might have been manhandled, couldn't quite take the mark at ground level. Pounced on by Horatio Fantasia. He's been slung to the ground.
Yeah, good tackle.
Crunched that time by Jack Watts.
Well,
boundary throw in.
As a man, he's got a free kick.
It's a free kick
to
Watts.
It is. It's a really good tackle. But how pathetic was the tackling on Stringer before. They had 6 opportunities to lay a
every tackle.
Yep.
So Jack Watch spears his kick down the boundary line, tracks it, finds Jonas. So still inside defensive 50. He's got a loose player short, very short, barely 15 metres that. Hartlett takes the grab.
Should try and switch the ball here, Port.
He's actually gone backwards, Hartlett. That
terrible
time.
decision.
And that kick is a shocker. Straight on the chest that time of Goddard, who handballs to the back of Danaher.
Did he get a 6? Did he hit the 6?
I reckon he did.
I reckon he did.
Old World of Sport, put on the 6.
He hit the number 6 right on the back of Joe Danaher on the...
Why would he handball to a bloke who's got his back to him, who's not even looking at him?
The Kangan Institute replay actually explained it there, KB, and the most surprised person on the ground was Joe Danaher.
You thought, what's that?
It's a bullseye.
Howard jumps up high for Port Adelaide, and then McGrath grabs the ball. Fine young player. He's been dumped. Still 48 metres out from the Bombers' goal.
Ken Higley made the move at half-time. Rockcliffe has started this third quarter on the bench. Brad Ebert going everywhere with Zach Merritt.
I think he's cooked, Coons, and you picked it early that he was hobbling on that leg. He's got it heavily bandaged. Can't go in to today's footy, especially at Etihad, where you've got to run and run and run.
Just on the Chemist Warehouse replay, that's the funniest thing. Handballing to Danaher, hitting virtually in the back of the head.
Sunday afternoon football for Toyota's Good for Footy program, and for Subway's 3-pepper chicken. Throw in city side. Port Adelaide the clearance. Here's Robbie Gray. Tried to chip one towards his namesake Sam, but in from the side Goddard, who's been a rock down there for Essendon. He intercepted, kicked laterally towards right half back. Heppel injects some run, exchanges with Goddard, and now brings it out this Dockland side. McDonald tipping Woody hesitated. He waited for Hurley to come. Breaking the tackle, Burn-Jones. Handball off to Motlop. Now they build. Chance for Boak, who runs inside 50. Kicks towards Dixon. Tip of the goal square. He just read it better in flight. And the Bombers will be disappointed. They let that opportunity to move the ball forward slip.
Well, there was a lack of talk because McDonald, Tip and Woody didn't go for the ball because he thought his teammate was.
Yeah, but the better forward structure. Boak straight away. Just put the ball to the top of the square. Perfect kick for Dixon.
Hasn't had a good day so far, Charlie Dixon, but will cut the margin to 22 points. At least he should, and makes no mistake from 20 metres out. Port Adelaide's 5th. They move to 5-7-37. Essendon 9-5-59 on the Robot Building Supplies scoreboard.
Against the flow, and you just sense at the moment Port's last, it probably goes back to Joe Danaher's shot at goal too, guys. I reckon just go back and kick that, and all of a sudden Essendon and the support
on a high, aren't they?
Yeah, they're on a high.
Look, you know what? We're playing underneath a roof, so there's no wind. There's nothing to sort of stop you from going back and just kicking over the man on the mark.
You know, and you've got one of the best sharpshooters in Matty Lloyd here today. He must look at that and just think, what the hell is going on?
He was his kicking coach at one stage, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think he just was going bald doing it. He had to dye his hair. It was going grey.
22 minutes up the Bombers. Danny Frawley in special comments. Here's Heppel again. Burrows in after the ball. On the bottom of the pack is Smith for the Bombers as well, and he's been dumped. Still inside the centre circle.
Actually, he was going grey doing it, but there's no excuse to keep dyeing at Lloydie now.
9-5-59, 5-7-37.
Do you dye your hair, KB?
Yeah, well, I dyed it blue. Blew away. And they kick the ball deep inside 50, and the umpire's going to recall it. It's going to come back to Devon Smith in the centre of the ground.
Well, it's a bonus for you. The positive is it doesn't take you long to comb your hair, does it?
Oh, just with a wet rag.
Yeah, just takes you all day to wash your face. Boom, boom.
You're working at the comedy festival?
No, okay, mate.
So Devon Smith kicks the ball deep inside 50, and Bell Chambers was on the stretch, couldn't take it. And going to ground was Danaher. Begley just jumped over an opponent and then kicked it short, and he finds Goddard directly in front. He'll be shooting from 51 metres out. Now here's a thumping kick.
Yeah, it's only a matter of accuracy, but I saw Joe Danaher
get the distance.
There. He just went down staging for a free kick, Joe Danaher. Just play to the whistle. Play aggressive football to the whistle.
Possession number 16 for Goddard. He's had 4 score involvements. Spins the Sherrin in his hands. Runs to 52 metres. This is a great kick off the boot. That's a magnificent kick.
He's burned it.
That is straight through the heart of Port Adelaide. That is a super goal. Well, Air Conditioning Warehouse sales call 942916 for your chance now to win a Bonaire Rhino ducted gas heater valued at $1,440 from Air Conditioning Warehouse sales. So a great kick from Goddard, and now they lead 10-5, 65 to 5-7 37. 7.5 minutes gone, Danny, in this third term.
Yeah, the Kangan Institute replay, really good play from Begley, because you're running away from goal, and I thought that was a really good sign of making a great decision, and that's the beauty of Goddard. You've always got that get out just out the back, and that's where he plays beautifully as that quarterback.
Should kick more goals, Brendan Goddard, because he's such a good kick and such a long kick.
Contested ball in the forward 50s today, 22 to Essendon, only 10 to Port.
So 28-point lead to the Bombers. Robot Building Supplies scoreboard. The toughest product at the lowest prices. Ball in dispute. Just forward of the centre circles for Essendon. A lot of players falling on top of it. Myers underneath there. He's set upon. Tackle came from Rockcliffe. Ball locked in. So umpire just barky instructions, eventually throws it up. Bellchambers front position, guided it down towards Parrish. He couldn't get a handle on it. Heppel, the tackler, on Rockcliffe, and again the ball locked up.
Quick kick out of the pack here. Cale Hooker is the deepest defender, standing all by himself. So Port Adelaide got to be smart with their ball use if they win this out of a stoppage.
Adam Cooney at ground level for Spitwater High Pressure Cleaners. That time Howard the tap for Port Adelaide. Only as far though as Parrish. Hurried kick came from Goddard. Good body work, Burn Jones. Wins it back, but then got a hospital handball off to Ebert, who was pinged holding the ball. And Smith, who's averaging 7 tackles a game, he's the recipient of this free kick. He just nudges it out to Parrish, right half forward. Long ball towards the hot spot. Westhoff, third man up. Got the spoil in over the top of Danaher, out for a throw-in, but the Bombers continue to pepper. 10-5-65, they lead the power, 5-7-37. Robot Building Supply scoreboard.
Great tackle there from Smith.
Boundary thrown just a couple of metres around from the point post. So a real chance here for the Bombers. They toss it in. Westhoff doing the ruck work. Works the ball to the front, taken by Cleary. Fresh air shot. And Cleary again hunts the ball. Then Heppel again. All day has been at the bottom of the pack for the Bombers. Somehow the ball is shoveled out. It's been pinched this time by Burn Jones, and he just hacks the ball as far as he can. Well outside 50, taken away by Hartley. He's been terrific today, playing on Charlie Dixon. And then Myers, big and strong, stands up in the tackle before he was dumped right on the paint of 50. 10-5-65 the Bombers. Port Adelaide 5-7-37. We've been travelling 10 minutes into this third term, this quarter for Robot Building Supplies. Here's a chance once more. Heppel leading from the front to Guelphy, who's been very, very impressive. And he's
pushing the back.
Too much carrying the ball, but is there a free kick? Yes, there is to Fantasia. Who's a goal kicker? He's a goal kicker, Fantasia. Oh, it's going to come back.
Yeah, it's
going to come all the way back. I thought it was up the field. Back to Guelphy. And then he goes short, backtracks, retreats, concedes ground, goes back to...
Go to Hurley now.
To Hooker. Goes back to Sard. Now he finds Parrish. And a good build-up by the Bombers.
Great build-up.
Finally it lands with Zaharakas. 50 metres out. Kicks into the pocket. Denhurst with a target, had him in his sights. Couldn't quite take it. Josh Green charges after the ball. Brings down Hartlett at that stage, and then shocking handball that time by Jonas, and then great kick off the ground virtually by Fantasia. He makes something out of nothing, and he rams it home for the Bombers. 11-5-71. Port Adelaide 5-7-37. They're really struggling now. 11 minutes gone in this third term.
Well, have a look at the ball gets inside forward 50. So you see in the Kangan Institute replay, the Bombers just at it and at it and at it. And Fantasia eventually wins the hard ball. So for the game, both sides have had even inside 50s. But Essendon had 24 ball gets to Port's 10. But not only that, they've had 10 tackles to 3. So not only are they winning the contested ball in their forward 50, they're keeping it in there through pressure. Port have only had 3 tackles and 10 ball gets for the same amount of inside 50s. The forward lines of both teams are at the each end of the spectrum.
So 12 minutes now, third term on the Blind Factory clock, blindfactory.com.au. Bombers another clearance. Bellchambers towards attacking 50. Robbie Gray's tried to lead from the front. Unfortunately, though, they're under siege. Again on all fours. Flicked it out towards Polek. He's set upon Heppel. Then McDonald tipping Woody. Now Stringer. Good strength. He breaks another tackle. Whistle on play says he threw it, however. And Port Adelaide earns a reprieve. Houston to take this free kick. They're moving it slowly as well, Spud, so not helping themselves. Just pokes at it, missed its mark. Bonner, look out! He stood up in the tackle, but his hands free to Houston, who kicked towards a one-on-one. Hurley and Marshall. Hurley the strength, a nice Jin Hang contender for mark of the day. Quality lighting to Jin Hang your hat on. And now they move it forward to Parrish, right half forward. Gets it, goes, kicks towards Stringer. Beaten on the lead, well done Howard. Ball on the deck. Eamon coughs it up. Guelphy round the corner from 40 was ambitious. Missed to the near side.
Another tackle, forward line tackle there, Tristan.
One-way traffic, Spud.
No, it certainly is. It's just the pressure. But have a look at the ball you support coming out. It's pretty ordinary as well.
Here's Robbie Gray. Can he set it up with Wingard? They need their good players to get their hands on the ball. Then Wingard chips the light, fantastic, danced on a dollar, then his kicks a shocker, looking for Westhoff, and Hartley again chips in, takes the mark. Now he finds Hooker. He can start the spread. He can pick any number he likes, and bingo, the lucky number's 35, Guelphy. That kick is not a good one. It was meant for Danaher, and he finds Robbie Gray, who marks it centre half back. 37 plays, 72. 11-6 to 5-7. The Bombers in control. Taken by Ollie Wines. Charges through the centre square. Kicks the ball deep. Hurley's down there with Jack Watts. Can he break the tackle? He can. Chance for Guelphy once more. He's been very, very impressive, this young man. Cool under pressure. Gives it back to Hooker. Rockers the ball to Myers. Then riding shotgun with Zaharakis. Back to Bell Chambers. There's a wave of players coming down the ground for the Bombers. Gives it off this time to Bagley. He goes short and finds Zach Merritt. So the Bombers chock full of confidence. Goes backwards, finds Hooker.
That's the contrast in the two teams at the moment, isn't it, KB?
A lot of confidence there.
So easy. Bombers getting it out of defence, and when Essendon go forward, they're locking it inside 50 at the moment.
Here's Hartley, takes it from Myers, goes wide. Just waxing at the moment with Hurley.
He's having a field day, Hurley.
He's on the paint of 50, and then he spears that kick in. What a searching kick that was.
Target practice.
Straight onto the chest that time of Parrish.
Who kicks long, City side of the ground. Stringer rises. Spoil came Hartlett. Kept it inside the field of play. The Bombers irrepressible with their pressure. Port Adelaide manages to come clear. Sam Gray arches his back to evade the McDonald tipping Woody tackle. Did well. Swept the handball over the top. Found Marshall and now Amon. They build. His handball untidy. Wingard played volleyball with Sam Gray. Then he received the handball.
Great kick.
Deft little kick inboard. Left half forward. Amon followed up. Pokes inside 50. Fantastic transitional play by Port Adelaide. And Spud, arguably their best passage of play all day is Watts plays with fire but finds Wines 30 out directly in front.
It was their best passage of play. There was high risk, high reward because the run and gun and the handball and the class of Wingard, he was the one that set it up with that, as you said, that little volleyball tap was outstanding. And yeah, I think that in that passage of play they had 8 handballs, so high risk, high reward. It was one of the few times they got through the Bomber tackling.
Lloyd end of Etihad Stadium, the southern end. Wines needs to kick this to keep Port Adelaide alive.
Yeah, they do.
They trail by 35. He strikes it but pushes it right. And they can't buy a goal at present. Robot Building Supplies scoreboards.
Question for you, Danny. Why would Jack Watts, who's a beautiful kick, he's marked, 20 metres out,
Yep.
not on any great angle. He's already kicked 2 goals for Port Adelaide, and then he kicks the ball back towards Ollie Wines, which nearly got chopped off, and he takes the mark, and he's got a kick from about 35 metres out.
Yeah, spot on, KB. You're all over it. Just kick the goal, Jack. It's as simple as that.
Here's a chance for Boak, and crunched over the line that time by Goddard. They've been pretty physical today, the Bombers.
No, they have.
This is about as physical I've seen the Bombers for a long, long time, led by Heppel.
Yeah, well, they were questioned, weren't they, last week? They were questioned their lack of intent at the contest, but they've brought it to the surface today.
Boundary throw in. Danaher taking his turn in the ruck, and there's a free kick, and it's going to the Bombers. And it's going to Danaher. Spins the Sheridan in his hands. It's inside defensive 50. Kicks the ball back to the centre square. Getting back this time was Guelphy. Got pushed off the contest. Back of the pack was Houston. Got to share the ball around. Dangerous play. Houston.
Here we go.
Pressure from McKenzie. Here's a chance. Stringer.
It's a raffle.
Just needs a kind bounce. Grabs the ball. Stringer runs into the open goal and rams it home.
Tackling pressure, KB.
He's got 3. That's a good move. Put the All-Australian forward pocket into the forward pocket.
Well, that's why the coaches get paid the big bucks, KB.
He's kicked 3 big ones now, Stringer, and apart from his 3 goals, Danny, he's been strong in the contest. He's taken on the opposition. They've found it very difficult to drag him down. He's been a bull, hasn't he? He's been an absolute bull today, and he's kicked 3 goals, and that's what they got him for. That explosive power on the forward line.
No, you're right, Kobe, and his endurance isn't there. So if you're running in the midfield, you actually lose that power, and that's why he's such a hard player to play on as a forward. And Adam would have played a lot of football with him. Probably not too much, but we know the scores from turnovers, with the tackling pressure again. Essendon have kicked 7 goals, 2 from turnovers. Port only 2 goals, 4.
They lead by 40 points to Bombers this quarter for Robot Building Supplies, the toughest products at the lowest prices.
They just stream out of the centre, Merritt towards Stringer, punched away from him. Port Adelaide again under the pump. McDonald, Tipping Woody, what a bump. Now the fend off. Green over the footy. Bonner has to keep a cool head. He does. But they're in all sorts, Port Adelaide. Hard to see a way back. Bonner again.
Green
steering kick towards Watts. Can't find the mark. Ball out for a throw-in. City side.
We'll head down to Adam Kearn. Looks like Josh Green's down behind play there for Spitwater.
Yeah, I think he just caught one high in that last contest, put his head over the footy. Umpire said play on. The Port Adelaide player won the ball. I think he'll be right. He's staying out there.
Injury update for Arnold Thomas and Becker. Over 50 years experience in personal injury law. Bombers in control. Thrown in. City side. Right half forward for Essendon. Free kick went Port Adelaide's way. Motlop took the advantage. Kick to the path of Burn-Jones. No one in the goal square. And the desperate tackle from Sard affected the kick. It sailed out of bounds on the full. Everything Essendon. And they lead at the moment by 40 points.
Hartley to McGrath, squeezed up, still in the back pocket, between the back pocket and half back, and then he goes short, squeezes the ball along the boundary line, finds Goddard.
Tippin Woody's had 2 tackles this quarter that created goals, so you don't always have to get the ball to have a great impact in this game.
So Goddard changed the direction, changed his mind, kicks the ball down to the boundary line, squeezed it down, and then Westhoff comes over the top and smashes the Sheeran back over the boundary line about 15 metres around from the interchange gate. They lead by 40 points, the Bombers. 12-6, 78 to 5-8, 38. They led by 18 at quarter time, 27 at half time. The margin now 40. Danher gives away a free kick, surely pushing the back into Westhoff. Not paid. And the ball finally trickles back over the boundary line in front of Houston. You can't just push the bloke in the back in the ruck contest, can he?
No.
Can't push, block, bump or hold in a ruck contest.
Yeah, they missed
just
that one,
pushed him in the back.
He did, he certainly did.
So Bell Chambers now is going to have a crack as Danaher just ambles back towards the forward line. And Bell Chambers just laid that ball down, but pounced on by Ollie Wines. Wines big and strong, grabs it for the Bombers.
The icing on the cake now for John Worsfold is to the next 40 minutes is for Joe Danaher to get a little bit of confidence. Everything else worked other than Danaher at the moment.
40-point lead. Robot Building Supplies scoreboard. The toughest product at the lowest prices. Get Merritt's numbers in a moment as well, because he's had it on a string.
Rockcliffe can't go any. It's as simple as that. Merritt's had 6 this quarter, and Tommy Rockcliffe has had.
He's had 1 touch for the day, by my reckoning. If we
he's had
delve a little deeper.
So have a look at Rockcliffe now.
He's had 7 possessions, Rockcliffe.
Yeah, he's only had 1.
3 handballs.
None versus 6 this quarter, KB.
So that was swatted down towards Rockcliffe, who was immediately tackled by Merritt. They pile in on top of it.
He must have an injury.
Well, he has, but I don't understand.
He's a very, very good player.
He is a good player, KB, but I think even at his best, Merritt's too quick for him anyway.
I reckon you just got to park him as the deepest forward because he just can't run at the moment.
I'm with you, Adam.
Bell Chambers with the swat. Looked to go into the path of Myers, who's forced to defend and manages to partially spoil that attempted Ebert handball out for a throw-in.
Just injury concern for Port Adelaide. Todd Marshall came off the ground looking pretty groggy, has gone down into the rooms, possibly a concussion test.
Adam Cooney, part of your Sunday afternoon football call team. We're here for Toyota's Good for Footy program and for Subway's 3 pepper chicken. Punched inside 50 for Essendon. Ebert had it, stripped of it by Smith. Ends with Myers, who kicks it high up on a mine shaft. It floats, good luck marking it. Polek rose, didn't mark. Smith tried to carve a passage. Toe poked out of trouble for Port Adelaide, but only momentarily, as Zaharakis went looking for McDonald to Big Woody. Front and square, Stringer, the fend off, they don't argue. Now Smith, round the corner, it didn't quite have the legs, and Howard on the last line clutched it to his chest for Port Adelaide.
So he marks on the goal line, he saves the day. So the Bombers, this is the best I've seen the Bombers in terms of pressure and being very, very physical for a long, long time. Kicks the ball well outside 50. Taken away that time by Gray. That's Sam. Gives it off this time to Bonner, and that kicks a poor one. down the boundary line, and it's out of bounds. Toss back in, centre wing. Goal kickers so far, the Bombers, 3 to James Stewart, 3 to Jake Stringer, and singles to Brendan Goddard, Bagley, Fantasia, Green, Begley and Myers. And for Port Adelaide, they got the 4 goal kickers, 2 to Jack Watts, and 1 to Charlie Dixon, Todd Marshall, and also Sam Gray as they throw this ball back into play on centre wing. Taken away by Smith, slices his way to trouble, finds a bit of fresh air, and then he just pumps the ball inside 50, but getting back, reading it well this time is Houston. Takes the easy mark and then plays on quickly. Can he hit a target? Yes, he can. And this time,
Port haven't got a great
Howard.
record at this ground, Tristan, haven't they? And I think it's a leg speed issue today. Essendon look far too quick.
Well, they pummeled them last year at this venue, the Bombers, and we mentioned prior to the game their disposal differential is at plus 58 the last 3 years against Port Adelaide. So somehow it clicks when they take them on. There's Wines, goes a daring option, finds Ebert. Kicks now towards attacking 50. Port Adelaide through Sam Gray, who didn't come back off the mark, KB.
No.
Get your thoughts in a moment. There's a free kick on play. He's going to go Amon's way, and they might just get out of jail here, Port Adelaide.
What do you think of that one, KB?
No, look, you know how you have the Golden Fist Award on the bounce?
Yes,
you know?
yep.
There should be an award for get back off the mark. The player who can you introduce that as a new segment?
I think I can.
Well,
give
it
it
might
to
be on your
give it
show.
to Moons or something like that.
Yeah.
Get back off the mark quickly. You know?
I think it's a pet hate of everyone's, and it's a pretty basic fundamental, but it's amazing how players don't want to do it.
Well, they're hanging on by a thread. Amon, 40 metres out, 45-degree angle, kicks the goal. Faint applause. Port Adelaide has its 6th. Amon his first. 6-8-44. They trail Essendon 12-6-78 on the Robot Building Supply scoreboard.
They tell me that's the highest rating few minutes in television in Australia when you do the Golden Fist Award.
Well, I think it's
They've
growing
broke
legs.
They've broke it down.
Yeah, Alex Rance is
More
now
people
getting,
watch that than anything else in the country.
and Alex Rance is now
For 90
getting
seconds.
media deals over in Hollywood because of it. They found out he's won the Golden Fist Award the last 3 years. And a lot of other defenders now actually want it. Hurley's in the running today. I think Hooker, well, he couldn't get in there because he's up on the forward line, so he's a chance to be on the show tonight, KB, and you're absolutely spot on. Took you a while to warm into it, though, didn't it?
Well, I don't like defenders, to be quite honest. I like people kicking goals. 6-8-44 to 12-6-78.
Well, why are you pumping it up?
It has grown on me because my grandson went in there one
He
day.
likes it.
And he loves the Golden Fist Award. He's still got sore shoulders from you shaking him. They kick the ball inside 50 now. Port Adelaide having another crack in this third term, picked up by Parrish. Gives it across to Hooker. Cool under pressure. Guelphy's been very, very good for the Bombers. It's been terrific. And here's Heppel going back with a fly of the ball. Pounced on by Smith. 2 bounces. Runs to 35. Closes to 30. And he has missed. It was an absolute gimme. It was a brilliant piece of roving. Took it off the pack. Exploded away. Couldn't finish. Puts it through for a behind. Disappointing. 12-7-79 the Bombers. Port Adelaide 6-8-44.
That's on the Robot Building Supplies scoreboard. The toughest products at the lowest prices as Bell Chambers rises over the top of Dixon. Marks at left half forward. Drives it long. Needs Danaher to fly. He hit it hard. Stringer waiting down. Was stripped without it. Danaher played for the free kick again. Umpire called play on. Port Adelaide desperate in defence. Have to drive it long. 1-on-1, Bell Chambers, Dixon. Dixon a piece of it, no mark as Hartley had it. He was stripped of it by Dixon. His follow-up play good. Port Adelaide advantage paid. Wingard Hospital handball towards Westhoff. As you heard Danny Frawley, he wished him all the best. He needed it. Yep. Stoppage on this broadcast wing.
KB, if I'm coaching Joe Danaher, I'd show him a package of today going to ground looking for a free kick. I reckon 4 occasions he's looking for a free kick from the umpire instead of just stealing himself for the contest.
Playing the ball on its merits. Attacking the ball. Taken away by Boak. He kicks down the line. He's looking for Burn Jones, and he's beaten that time by Bagley, who takes the ball back over the boundary line.
Because he's not confident,
out from goal.
But it'll actually show him that when he does fly and go at the ball, he's going to be hard to beat. 'Cause at the moment, he's looking for a bit of help from the umpires. So it'd actually be really good positive reinforcement to say, mate, when you fly and jump at the ball, no one can go with you.
So Hooker to do the ruck work, and Westhoff comes over the top to Ebert, back to Pollock, who sliced his way out of trouble, finds a little bit of fresh air, then offloads the ball to Sam Gray. That's smothered off the boot, inside 50. Back of the pack is Hooker. Kicked off the ground that time by Jack Watts. And it goes straight back over the boundary line, a couple of metres around from the behind post. We've got a boundary throw-in. Check the scoreboard, 12-7-79 the Bombers. Port Adelaide 6:8:44, and that's also at the 27-minute mark on the Blind Factory clock and on the Robot Building Supplies scoreboard. Robot Building Supplies, the toughest products at the lowest prices.
Ball tossed back in. Boak tried to improvise with the handball. It's sharked by Westhoff from the Bell Chambers handball. He dribbles through the goal.
There's a heartbeat.
Well, it's faint, but as you say, they've kicked 2 in a row. 29 points now the margin. 7-8-50. Essendon 12-7-79. And when you get it in there, Spud, you can cause some headaches.
No, he certainly can. And look, I'm trying to make a case of how Port can get back into the game, but I just think that the day is just all the Bombers. The contested ball is still up. The clearances are fairly even now. The tackling pressure.
If they can get the next goal,
yep,
it would lift their spirits.
We've said that all day, though, I reckon.
They're about, 29 points down, so if they, if they get within 4 goals.
We don't want to write them off, but we've been trying to say that all day, and it just hasn't happened.
The Bombers have been very good. Here's Westhoff.
They always have the answer back to Bombers.
Recall.
I don't think Port have kicked 2 in a row for my reckoning. Tristan, can you help me out there?
17-minute mark and the 27-minute mark of the second term, and this was the second occasion, but otherwise it's been consecutive goals to the Bombers.
Parrish burrows in after the ball. Little give that time. Zaharakas back to Heppel. They'll share the ball around back to Zaharakas. Saad grabs the ball, loves to run with it, arches the back, runs through the centre square, hammers the ball deep to the forward line. He's looking for Danaher, lost it in flight, paddles the ball along in front, very close to the boundary line. And again, a boundary thrown a few metres around from the point post. So a chance here for the Bombers.
What about that?
28.5 minutes gone in this third term. Boundary throw in.
KB Saad, his possession there was about 90 metres. He ran 30 and kicked it bloody 70.
He's explosive.
That didn't add up, did it?
Whatever. Do you want another crack at that?
No. He gets a lot of distance with his disposal.
What about he ran 30 and kicked it 60 and that gave him 90?
Oh, move on.
Hartlett in the back pocket. Spins to Sherrin in his hands, and then he kicks the ball well outside of 50. Getting back this time is Hooker, back of the pack.
He looks comfortable playing down back, Hooker.
Danny Frawley loves rubbing it in. Oh, that was great play that time by the Bombers. Just a little tap on, goes to Bagley, and this time the kick's been cut off by Wingard, who's taken the grab. He wants to play on quickly. Jack watches the target. He's got the chance here. Nearly took a one-hand up. Picked up by Boak with a quick snap.
Great goal.
He's kicked a goal.
Quick ball through the middle, KB.
The skipper has kicked a goal from a crumb. Jack Watts nearly took the mark. 8-8-56 now, the 12-7-79. They pull it back to 23 points. That's very gettable.
It is.
Just depends if the Bombers can still have the belief that they're the best side out there.
No, you're right, KB. And they're doing a lot right now, Port. It's just the tackling pressure of Essendon, and the key to that play was getting the ball back through the middle of the ground, and Wingard had the ball, give it to Watts for a really good front and square from Boak. So really good goal there on the Kangan Institute replay.
Travis Boak forcing Brendan Goddard on that occasion to actually defend one-on-one. Probably the first time this game it's had to happen, and kept his feet and kicked the goal because of it.
What do you think, Coons? Should you give him a chance now? 23 points?
Yeah, they're going with a chance now. They've kicked the last 3, so the 30-minute mark, you don't want to be kicking back into the middle of the ground. That was a mistake by Essendon.
Adam Cooney before him, Kevin Bartlett, Danny Frawley, Tristan Fernando. That's your Sunday afternoon call team.
What a team.
They try and surge it forward, Port Adelaide. Just admiring your own work, Spud.
Yeah,
Essendon has it through merit on this broadcast wing. Beautiful pass, found Stewart.
When you live at home with 4 girls, I get no positivity there,
You've got to
KB.
pop up your own tyres.
You do.
Goes the skinny side, entry inside 50. Jonas, third man up, spoilt it towards the boundary line and out for a throw in left forward pocket for Essendon.
Oh, I look around the other boxes, gee whiz.
Less than
Got them covered.
Less than a minute to go in this third term. A lead by 23 points, the Bombers. Led by 27 points at half-time. Ebert, quick hands, that time to Wingard. Beaten by McGrath, has been dragged down by Ebert. Ollie Wines is a bull, throws himself at the ball, and then Heppel, who's been great all day for the Bombers, leading from the front. McGrath somehow squeezed out the handball. Byrne-Jones runs smack bang into Zach Merritt. No free kick. And then Heppel again shovels out the ball. Back to Zaharakas, smothered off the boot by Hartlett. Ball ricochets back to Hooker. Just steps around him, and then he unloads and kicks inside 50. Danaher went up before acceptances.
Yeah, in the back. Yeah, it was Danaher that
He was up and away,
yeah.
but well before acceptances.
He got up.
Oh, yes.
Umpire's got no theatre.
He's lost the plot at the moment, Big Joey, hasn't he?
No, he
he's
has.
all at sea.
But it'll come, but I think that's the big thing for Essendon. They just need Danaher to fire up, especially with the big Anzac Day clash coming up in about 3.5 weeks' time.
Chad Corns comes out and he indicates the runner. Kick to the boundary line, kick to the boundary line. There's the siren at 3/4 time. We've got a game on our hands. So Fort back then, they kicked the last 3 goals.
Last 3, KB.
Port
so
Adelaide.
they've clawed their way back after trailing by as much as 35 points in that third quarter.
Well, it's only 23 now.
Final term on the way. The Bombers have just left the door ajar. Stick with us. The thoughts of Danny Frawley and Adam Cooney next here on Sunday Afternoon Footy.
This quarter of 11:16 SEN football was brought to you by
Robot Building Supplies, the toughest products at the lowest prices.